You must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan's sword for long. There are other places I would visit. To the Arzaneth Ossuary. Fuck. Thaumaturge. Oh my god, look at that. When the calamity threatened, Raban led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cartano, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louis would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting this shrine during each of my little excursions here. I seek the blessing of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a Sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Ul'dah. I have chosen my path, Ceres. With Ala Mhigo now freed from imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already, many displaced Ala Mhigans seek to begin the long trek home. To facilitate that process, I have made a small contribution. An artisan's school in Rauger's Reach for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it will take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. What? These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive. This time the Old Dawn Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Why not seek the advice of one who employs refugees? Wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Manderville? Yeah. Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I will see that word is sent to the Gold Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us. What if I have never met him? I have ridden aboard a public airship before, but this shall be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must confess to some excitement. Okay. Get you there. And last time I was here, I think it was before I even completed the main story. That was quite a while ago. I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to fritter away the royal coin. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these these gaudy temptations. Where is he? Where? Right. I'm coming, Nanamo. I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Manderville. Shall we sit while we await his coming? Dun, 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 dun. Hello. Wearing pants this time. My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary, Godbert. Our request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such short notice. When my son's good friend and the Sultana herself come calling, there is no more important engagement. Well, I wonder if I had to do that Manderville quest. Or like it would have made me do the Manderville quest first. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid the refugees residing in Thanalan. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland. You are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me on the matter of how it might best be distributed? The unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion would suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Uldal's wealth to save Alamigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition? Most emphatically. I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have housing and employment. But what profit is there for Uldal in this arrangement? Profit? After all you have done for Girabania's displacement, I thought you were the very last person to seek to benefit from their misfortune. Forgive me, Your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is one born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, to expect it. And then we must consider Uldal's own poor and downtrodden. Did they hear of you spending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo? It is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your Grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill. Indeed, that any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interests of the people of Uldal. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning of Alamigans, even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of your subjects. You have given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. I thank you for your candor. Got some good points, you know. He's got it, you know. Okay, I was say like, what the fuck's happening? Profit. That never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivety will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Ceres, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. Maybe I probably know a few people. Ordinarily, I would not trust any agents of the East Aldenar Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am contented to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to distant Kugana and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers as are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Aetheryte in Uldal. Great journey to you, Ceres. And a swift one, if you please. Yep. She's not here. Ceres, to what do I owe the pleasure? Or are you here on business? Maybe a little bit of both. Beg your pardon? Your Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how best to invest the wealth of Uldal? My dear Ceres, I have you to thank for this recognition, I am sure. And I am flattered that you came to my aid, truly flattered. Why settle for a lowly apprentice when you could have the master upon matters of profit? There is no living soul better qualified to advise her Grace than Chairman Lolorito. A man whose morning exertions are said to fill his garderobe with gold. So we're happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Scion's former headquarters in Thanalan. The Waking Sands would seem a suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Very well, Ceres, and may your dealings prove fruitful. Oh, it was kind of like the last person I want to talk to, but probably the most qualified. Welcome back, Ceres. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? With Lolorito? And you agree to this? I am well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the Monetaris at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Ul'dah effectively. Very well, I will meet with Lolorito. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands and prepare for his coming. Look, I'm already here. So this is where the Scions first congregated. I've heard many tales, but never had occasion to visit. To work then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray see to it that we have the appointed room to ourselves.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
I'm sure. I hate his shit-eating grin.
You have made your point. It is indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask.
This is the first time he took off his mask. I've seen him before.
There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I am glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Ul'dah and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more. To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Ul'dah. Huh, I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
There's Alagana, Alagiri, and the Saltery. Saltery is closest to Alamigo. Which one was Alagiri? That was the one in the middle, right? I think Alagiri.
Yes, if a stable trade route can be established between Uldar and Alamigo, then Alagiri would once more become an important waypoint. But while such growth would greatly benefit its current residents, I'm afraid it could sustain little beyond that.
Alagana.
Yes, a quarry town certainly does carry the potential for profit. At least it would do were it situated anywhere near a lucrative market. It would cost more to transport the materials than they are worth, in my humble opinion.
That's all that's left is the Saltery. Clearly, what is it? The Saltery.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gill.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Aldenar Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ounce of profit from its production. The lock.
Damn it! I was phrasing it so it would go, but would it?
A deal is struck then.
Oh wow, looks like we're doing stuff in the Saltery. I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations, but I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Ceres. I could not have done it without you. No problem, Onigarayaki. Our course is decided. I return to the palace and have my ministers begin working on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, Ceres, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo. No problem. Thanks again. Together, we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Uldar both. Oh, good. Ceres, you're back. What did Nanamo? Oh, sorry. Are you followed to talk about your audience, the Sultana? Yeah. So, Raban says he's going to return to Oda, but she isn't sure he wants to. That's something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And his plan to revitalize the Saltery does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help is another question, After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But on a more practical note, at least assuming the interim government elects to accept Uldal's proposal, I have one caveat I should like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal after all, and allowing Uldal to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Alamigo too much control. Honestly, Alphino, it's like Kugan never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? But yes, you do make a good point. First things first though, we need to discuss the proposal with the Saltary's residents. Whiskart, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Ceres? I might need you to fill in the details. Then I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances might prove useful. What manner of mischief brings you youngins to a Watt this time, eh? They want to rebuild the Saltery, Granddad? Ceres, tell them about the deal. Well, bugger me. We've never had the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to cull the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Granddad. I'll take care of all that. Commander Hex has been talking about starting up regular patrols. I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I appreciate that, Whiskar, my lad. Truly I do. I would. So does this mean you've gotten better with the blade of yours? I've been training, but mostly to kill Imperials. You've some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Ceres? Think you could cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? I could do something like that. Let's not waste any time, then. I'll see you by the lock. Whilst you're busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltery to its former glory. Good hunting. Right then, sirs. I've got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've got their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well I get on. Search your surroundings for yabbies. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target the yabby and inspect with left click. Oh. There you go. The yabby's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Ah, looks like you found a yabby. They say hitting their shells like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Aim for the soft underside of the head. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Alright then, wish me luck. Did it. Thanks, Ceres. I did just as he told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of potatoes. Papados. Let's find something else. I think I can handle the yabbies now, so we should try something different. What else is out there? There's surroundings for full bads. 2 bads. This thing. The eye? The Feebad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. A Feebad? How do I defeat one of those? Just hit it really, really hard. As hard as you can. Destroy the core within its brow. Inside its head, is it? Gotta stab her right between the eyes then. You got this, buddy. You did it. Not easy fighting with the liberator of Alamigo watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thanks for the advice, Ceres. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Anyway, we should head back to the saltery before Granddad starts to worry I've been snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's hatchlings. Oh, salt? Is that what that is? This? I see you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from Ceres here. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad. A fine young man you become, Whiskar. A fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folk over in the city, drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. We need to set our sights on the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. Got that right. It seems Whiskar has a saltery security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed with my expansion of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Message from General Alden. Apologies for the interruption, miss, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. I don't know if you're obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here to hammer out the finer details of Watt and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. General Alden asks that you wait for him by the main gate in Alamigan Quarter. My apologies again, miss. Very well. Alright, I'll be there in a jiffy. Bye-bye, Ryo. Look at the starry sky. What up?
Apologies for the wait.
No worries.
People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
Oh, they got someone?
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the
Those
Coast of
two
Raven
fucks.
Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
Death. Yes. Execution is not the answer. For one.
You would spare these animals. Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine.
Oh, their lives can be used for something.
In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me.
They can work for the rest of their lives. How about that? Oh.
I bear a share of the blame for Ilbert's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Uldar and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father,
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
All right. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled. Arnvold, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta has arrived at the main gate, and I don't mean the Vira. These are Kalyana, the ones that summon the Primal. What is happening right here? They're insisting that they be allowed to attend the council. Lisa's trying to reason with them, but she may need help. An invitation was extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kalyana would refuse it out of hand. We'd best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. Darius, you dealt with these Kalyana before. I'll have you at my side. Yep. So I'm not sure if they'll like me too much, considering I killed their god. Darius, Raban, gods, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. You have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Girabania home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will all be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to compromise. We will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. But I have the feeling we've welcomed a viper into our midst. Yeah, well. For that have either. Not like it's got the full outfit, but still. Oh, dress up Raubad. Detachable arm optional. God damn it. This Kayana elder's intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Ceres? Maybe even the enthralled can learn to compromise? Believe an understanding can be reached? It is not entirely unheard of. I suppose those who followed Saint Shiva eventually sought reconciliation with Ishgard. Whatever the truth, I will take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the Scions? Yep. You try any funny business. Round up our comrades and send them to the Alamegan quarter. You can go on ahead if you like, sirs. My thanks. I will see you in the palace. I gotta update my thing. Look. What is here? There's. I brought reinforcements. Arnval told me of the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agree that it would be prudent to call upon Yashola and Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. Not familiar with the Kayana tribe myself, but Alizé's reports suggested they shunned contact with other races, despised it in fact, even compared to other Ananta. Indeed, the apparent reversal in attitude is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy, and I imagine Lise was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If the meeting is to be held in the throne room, it would seem wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Mishola and I can stand guard without. That leaves the three of you to keep watch over proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We should join General Alden inside then. Do you know of the rear entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city, at the top of the stairs. The guard there should have been instructed to let us pass. Alright then. Head over there right away. With the Scions, miss? General Alden left orders that you were to be escorted inside. If you follow me. Yep, let's go.
Thank you all for coming. I am Lise Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern.
That's how you pronounce it, Kikern.
You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Alamigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in? For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place? Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
Ooh. I got them a table.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
Don't jinx it, Alphino.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ragenfrid. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kaliana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
The Ananta wish only that those who dwell within Gia Abania devote themselves to our faith. You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of Bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
They hide crystals in here, or did they know there were crystals in here?
This can't be happening. No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
It's up to us.
Gods damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
No, you don't!
The Kaliana would see us all enthralled.
Then they're going to be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvald to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they? We're stuck on the back foot.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Whatever she's about, you'd best make it quick. Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
Oh. How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. Oh, damn it. If I think like this, we've already lost. With the warrior light at my side, we can do this. Isn't that right, Ceres? Oh yeah. Use your duty action to deflect to dissipate the ether spheres Lakshmi releases during the battle. Be warned that allowing an ally to be enthralled by the ether sphere will result in failure. That's how that works.
Why, I offer you peace and serenity.
Damn it.
I shall free you from your hate.
God. Oh. Hopefully Elise is back.
Damn it all! It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
Wait, is she gonna bring... That was her plan.
What of it? Do you want to kill this thing or not?
Oh damn. Oh damn. Yes? Oh god. The onwards are in your care. Oh. Surely, I mean to. Very well. I shall see our guests to safety. I gotta worry about protecting anybody now. Oh god. Active time maneuver. Oh. Oh yeah, haha. Wish I counted them as my like being in my party.
Heavy?
To be honest, I didn't expect it to actually help us. Oh god damn it. Oh, got that off 3 times. Oh yeah. Oh, it does count that as being my party. Damn, she's still going after this? She's...
Here it comes!
She's doing her limb break. Aha! That's a pretty cool fight right there.
Traitor!
Oh, what happened? Rule. Let's see what happened right there.
What is this? I'm only gonna say this once. The Ananta just summoned their primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the Echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Alamigo. Your choice.
Oh.
Seven hells. It's her, the Butcher.
I like how the Kikern look. Oh, just gonna see what everything that her people have done to them.
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You I will never forgive. But I will thank you. For standing against a primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.